Yes, people, welcome back to AFTV. Welcome back to it's a new style. Live, me and Curtis, CC, live. Do you know what's mad, yeah? Just so you know, Curtis, yeah, we just had Robbie on there behind the scenes. We're on trial. I ain't been on trial in a long time, you know. We're on
You're at Crawley, yeah? You've had a 6-week trial.
We're on trial. We're going to see if, obviously, the audience, big up everyone in the comments as well, if they're going to enjoy, you know, the live, the conversation, the banter. If many people will know this, obviously, from the US tours, right, that me and Curtis are very good friends. We have great laughs. We played the game as well. So we always felt like we needed a show together to bounce off each other and obviously involve the community as well. So people that are joining, send your comments and super chats and whatnot, and we'll make sure you get involved. But we've been waiting to do this. CC, obviously, normally, just behind the scenes that not many of you don't know, when we're on tour, yeah, we do this thing called like the FIFA shiny card, yeah, when man are on form. In the summer, I'll be honest, sometimes I take that crown. I get the shiny card a lot of the time. Big up Curtis. This last year, he was on form, doing some big moves. We saw, you know, press conferences, all of that, putting pressure on things, kicking ball with pros. But right now, I think the shiny card is well amongst you. So it's Turkish and that, because of what's kind of happened in the past couple of days. Now, I wanted to start this live, yeah, and just be gassed. Man City 5-1, happy, dunking on them, have a laugh. It's all banter, it's all good vibes. And then actually another thing happened as well this morning, which I'm gonna pop up. Here we go. This happened.
Oh no, it didn't. Is that you personal?
I wish. He followed AFTV, and I said, wait. This could be.
Can I just say, by the way, yeah? Can I just say, like, that is a moment.
But wait, I'm not finished. It got peaked. He unfollowed us.
He's made a mistake. He's done it by accident. Oh no, Thierry, man, come on.
I was heartbroken. The group chat was going off. We said Thierry's followed us. I went mad, bro. I dropped my phone, and then 2 minutes later, he's unfollowed us. I said he could have been
done it by accident. He's seen one of your videos. He's clicked it by accident. He said, "No. Let me vavavoom take that off." You're thinking he's the next guest on the A-list show, innit? You're gonna break the internet.
No, Curtis, this is our show now, yeah. I know he's going to intrude. So Thierry might have been on here. I'll be real. You got him in the back of your background. This is where I'll be looking. Robbie's going to hate me saying that because obviously he'll be saying, nah, bun that A-list all day. Big up Turkish in the chat.
Do you know what? I've got a story about Henry from back in the day. I've said this on my channel before.
Let's do it.
Basically, when Henry was being linked with Arsenal, so obviously Anelka had gone, and I loved Anelka, so I was watching an England game. It was a friendly, and Henry was 2 rows behind me, and he was close to him signing for Arsenal. So, as you know, people, I get a little bit carried away sometimes when things aren't going my way. Occasionally, you know. So my dad says, "Yo, Thierry Henry's 2 rows behind you. You know, do you want to go and meet him and that?" And I was like, "Yo, bun that, man. You know what I mean? We just sold Anelka. This guy's some winger from Juventus. I don't even want him because we were being linked with Trezeguet."
Yep, correct.
And I was thinking Trezeguet's a gunman goal scorer. Henry's just some quick winger. So I said, I ain't even going to meet that guy, man. He's not even that good. Anyway, 2 weeks later, we sign him. I'm still like,
it took a bit of time. He took a bit of time to set.
Took a bit of time. I'm thinking, we should have kept Anelka, man. He's better than this guy. And Henry ended up being fairly decent for us, we could say. And I had one other opportunity to meet him after that, and it just didn't happen. We was in the same place, and people were crowding him, and I just tried to play it cool, you know what I mean? And then since then, I've never booked this guy, you know what I mean? And I'm like,
sold it, bro.
Good job I wasn't on social media them times there, man, because that is the biggest L.
L.
And I know you met him as well, didn't you? You know what I'm saying? I seen him leather jacket and that.
Yeah, the FIFA event. That was a moment, bro. That was a hero moment for me. And also, listen, big up you, Curtis. Just quickly before we get into the whole conversation around the window and whatnot. You've been doing streams all day. Man's on some marathon. I see him on his channel earlier, then Turkish channel. You're now here non-stop for you. So big you up. And listen, go follow Curtis Shaw as well. He's close to 90,000 subscribers. Go make that happen on this stream, please, people. That'd mean a lot to me, and I'm sure a lot to him as well. So go and do that. Get Curtis over the line, and let's get straight into it. Let's just get straight into it. Right.
Where we started.
we're gonna wait when Robbie comes. We'll press him together because there's some things that we're gonna bring up all the people we're linked to in Transfer Daily, and we're gonna
be a 3-hour show, bro.
we're gonna press him. Yeah, we're gonna have some banter with him first. But before we get into that, let's just start in what's the biggest conversation. Obviously, Arsenal beat Man City, and everyone was happy. I felt like, and I think I was quite controlled, happy when I did a post of Mars was scared to big him up. But I just knew if we didn't sign anyone, I'd be upset the next day, and that's what ended up happening. We didn't sign anyone in the window, which I found bizarre. I really thought we was going to sign someone, and we're gonna talk about. I want to get your thoughts on it, but first, I just want to say we don't know the answer to this. I don't think any of us do. But who does it mainly lie or fall on for you? Is it more the manager? Is it this Ato brother? Is it Tim Lewis? Is it the Kroenkes? Like, where's the blame for you? And then we'll dissect more about the window and what we should have done, what we could have done. But where do you put the blame?
I think ultimately the majority of the blame's got to go to the owners. Because Arteta the whole month has said, well, pretty much most of the month he said, we need players. We need to be active. You know, he said last week, who told you that I don't want a striker? And then the reports in The Athletic are saying that he was very keen on signing Ollie Watkins. So the money, I mean, Tim Lewis is obviously, from what we're reading, he's the guy that, you know, he tells them how much he feels a player's valuation is. Because again, with that same story, they're saying that Tim Lewis was saying that Ollie Watkins is 45 million. He shouldn't be 60 million at 29 years of age, 30 in December.
Yeah, so he was the one he was kind of the one pulling back on it, right? Because I watched your show earlier that it kind of has to go through him. These final sales, obviously with Eddie on gardening leave, they have to obviously, you know, correct it through someone, and he was the one that was kind of given that power, which has, I'll be honest, it's annoyed me. I listened to you tell me that we went in when we played against Aston Villa. That's when they were saying, look, and we heard this as well, that Villa were pushing, we're happy to sell someone like Ollie Watkins, especially to you guys, big Arsenal fan. People don't know as well, backstory. His agent's Paolo Venezia, ex-Arsenal player. Two-touch management. It all aligns. He's a big Arsenal fan. He said it's his dream move to play for Arsenal. So it feels like Tim Lewis was the sticking point there, which I'll be honest, it actually aggravated me so much. It really did, because Ollie Watkins, some would say, they'll look at the stats and say he misses big chances as well, but he is he's better than no one. I think that's the top line. He's better than not getting anyone.
Oh, he's better than what we've got, let's be honest. 19 goals, 13 assists last year, bro. You know what I mean? Havertz, he's never produced those numbers. And I know, obviously, you know Ollie Watkins, don't you? You've done work with him and stuff like that. So you've got a lot of insight into his character. We know he's a big Arsenal fan. And, you know, if the manager wanted him, he keeps talking about opportunities presenting themselves. 60 million for a proven striker. Now, Watkins wouldn't have been at the top of my list, I'll be honest. I think there were 3 or 4 names maybe I would have put ahead of him, but it would have had an impact on everything. Like 48 hours ago, we beat Manchester City, and 48 hours later, we're down in the dumps. You know what I mean? We're like, oh man, we didn't sign anyone. And I think they missed such a big opportunity. And I think Tim Lewis might just think I'm doing my job. They've hired me to make sure the money's spent in the right way. In his sort of business mindset, he might be thinking Watkins at 29 is not worth 60 million. There's no sell-on value. It's a big wage. But this is football.
That does make some sense, but it's also like, come on, Arsenal. We could have, we can push for something with a signing right now. Because I know you watched AFTV live yesterday with all of us, me, James, Turkish, and Robbie, and they were saying if Havertz gets injured, what we're going to do. I'm saying when Havertz is fit, what we're going to do. We still need a striker from way back. And Watkins, I don't think it's that much of a risk. They always talk about, like you said, opportunities presenting themselves, but that's an opportunity. That is an opportunity to get it done. And they left it too late, and then obviously Al Nassr come in and took Duran, and then they had the money that was going to be used. Because obviously they came to Arsenal because of PSR reasons, saying, "Listen, we need to make some sales." Exactly, and then I got to a point where I look at Villa's. I've got the Villa's signings here. They're like, obviously they got Marlon, they got Gracia as well as a defender. They got Marcus Rashford on loan, and Asensio and Disasi. Now, Rashford, listen, I'll be honest. I'll keep it 100 with everyone. Yeah, I don't want Rashford at Arsenal, if I'm being real. I'm a big fan of him. I'll never talk bad about him, but I wouldn't have wanted him here at Arsenal, right? However, It got down to the last couple of hours. I was on Tinder trying to find new girlfriends in the area before he started to Villa. I was like, how can I, if I was speaking to his brother, his age, I'm like, bro, what can we do? I was trying to be like, what can I do to bring you here, brother? I said, listen, I know we don't want him going out, but have some nice spots that aren't too crazy in London that we could just come on, brother.
Yeah.
That phase, like I become desperate, desperate. And that's what it kind of led me to. And I was so frustrated with the window. I think as much as people will say, Cecil, you might, I lean on the side a little bit of the Kroenkes a little bit. And some people can argue that, I don't always, I sit on the fence at times, but I can categorically say that this window is a massive failure, massive. That it's baffling to me that we didn't sign anyone at all. Last window as well, last January, we didn't sign anyone. And at that stage, I was like, Arsenal can't go on and not sign him. That's craziness. And then they've done it again. And then obviously Arteta talks about internal solutions. We've got to find internal solutions. This brother finds internal solutions for every position but striker.
Yeah. That's his kryptonite, bro. Like the striker position. It's always been something he struggled with, because you look like he walked in, Aubameyang was there. Kind of pushed Aubameyang to the left. He faded. Lacazette went up front. He kind of faded as well. Eddie didn't fulfill that role. And he's Jesus started off well, to be fair, but after the injury, never been the same. And then we've ended up with Havertz there. And you're like, why in all of these 31 signings has he never actually said, I'm going to go big for a striker? You spent 105 million on a defensive midfielder who is quality, by the way. No problem. But the reality of the situation, you have got to have a goal scorer to win a title. You've got to have somebody in that front three that can just win you a game at any moment. We keep watching Liverpool. I'm going, boy, they might drop points. Salah 1-0. Okay, it's over. Do you know what I'm saying? They've got that X factor in the front line, and we don't have that. And I know people say that Arteta wants goals to come from everywhere, which I understand. But even Pep went and got Haaland, and he was the king of goals coming from everywhere. And then he gets Mamouche to help Haaland as well. You know what I mean? They've got two strikers. We've kind of got half a striker. No disrespect to Havertz. He's not a natural goal scorer. And we've seen that with these missed chances. Like, you see him miss them and you think a normal striker wouldn't miss that chance, because he's been in that situation thousands of times in training, and Havertz sometimes looks a little bit desperate. So I actually feel sorry for the players in this situation, because I think they've been hung out to dry a little bit, these players. I almost think the players are performing to their maximum. I think.
Well, that's what he said, isn't it? He said. Let me just read what. We've got some graphics as well to pop up, but let me read something that we haven't got a graphic on. Is what he said there. He goes, on the numbers left in the squad, Arteta said, no, I focus on the numbers that we have, how to maximize them and get the most from what we have. Brother, they're maximized. There's injuries, there's ACLs happening, there's hamstrings being pulled, there's injuries galore. I don't know how you can't maximize these guys into the ground. And it's what's funny, we speak about Aubameyang and a striker, and he doesn't like personalities and that. But if we're being Julian stole this off me, because this is something I said on a separate stream somewhere else, and he said, yeah, I did watch it. Aubameyang partly saved Arteta, that FA Cup that we won was he put that on Aubameyang's back. Aubameyang carried us through that final. So I'm like, how much evidence more do you need that to show you that you need a striker to win or get it over the line? Yes, there was issues with lateness and whatnot, but Aubameyang was a player that got you that trophy. It prolonged your time at Arsenal. That definitely. Time when we had them 3 defeats, and if you didn't have FA Cup behind you, I couldn't imagine the pressure you'd be under. I don't think you would have seen it through. So it's really annoying that. And I'm a big fan of Arteta. I'm a big fan of him, and I will back him. And I don't think it's people saying get rid of him now. For me, it's nonsense. Wait till the end of the season, see what happens there. But for him to neglect the striker position, I think is baffling to me. I think it's hugely. Can damage Arteta, if I'm honest, because he put all his chips in Havertz, which Kay is doing okay, but he's not the answer. He's not a prolific striker. And just off the back of that, let me ask you this: what sort of profile of striker? Just quickly, profile of striker are you? Were you the Aubameyang, or were you like a quiet one, like listens and safe? Because people can tell. If they know me, I like to do the dancing in the change room when I score.
We've noticed that, bro. We've noticed that. You know what I mean? We've seen the backflip. I think you can see from my personality, bro.
You would.
Bro, it's probably the reason man never got beyond League Two. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm young and they're saying, yo, just be quiet, man. Just let him say that. I was talking up. And football's a political game, innit? When you're young and you're coming up, you're supposed to take certain things. The manager's saying things, just keep quiet. I was very argumentative, and that doesn't work in football unless you're a superstar. They'll put up with it, and you know that's the reality. I was definitely not a quiet character in the change room, but that might have been part of the problem why I didn't climb up the leagues.
That's the thing. I feel like I say that sometimes as well. Like sometimes my personality was quite loud, and I like to enjoy and listen to my manager, but also play my way, innit? Like,
yeah.
It didn't always go. Yeah, probably could have a longer career if I did. What the Arsenal team seem to be like. They seem to be like they listen to Arteta. They hang off every last word. And listen, it's got them to back challenging. It's got them third in the Champions League in that league phase, that early league phase, and obviously through. So it is working to some sense. It's just obviously getting over the line. I'm going to read some super chats, Curtis, because we've hit 15 minutes. I'm going to try and do it in sections. We're going to be here for an hour roughly or above, so I'm going to try and get through them. Let's run with this one here. Harry Lawrence says, I've come to terms with it, but summer better be. I don't like this one. Sorry, Harry. Summer better be. Because this war chest talk, we're going to go big in summer. And so I give the benefit of doubt a lot of the times to the club. I sometimes buy into the PR. I'll be real. People know me, and I try and stay on the positive side. But when you're in more competitions than you were last year. So last season, we missed out by two points, right? And we didn't upgrade in that January window. We didn't really push. Yes, we went on a great run after Dubai, but that ended up in nothing at the end of the day. So for me, at the end of that season, if I was Arteta, I'd be thinking, look, 2 points off. The time when we've done well after January, after Dubai, but if we just pushed a little bit more, I think we lost one game in that back end, then we might have won that title. So I'm thinking you would have learned from last season. So this season, it's January. Go bold, make that little extra push, and you can end up with something different. And you're in more competitions. The League Cup's not done. I'm gonna say it could. I mean, it probably is. The League Cup's not done yet, though. But obviously, the Champions League. I mean, you can say Barcelona and Liverpool are up there. They're flying right now. And I spoke to some Barca fans recently. They say we're not as good as you think. So we could have been in that conversation if you strengthened in this January window. I don't want to wait till the summer. And what are you going to bring in the summer that's really going to gas me? Like Sesko's not gassing me. I'll be real.
No. And you're not getting this at. Let's be real, bro. Though. I think this January was a continuation of what started in the summer. I know, remember the last time we was on shows and I was going, summer. And you was like, oh, summer, man. And I said, bro, I'm telling you, because when you don't have a good summer, you have to try and sort it out in January.
Facts.
And that's the situation we're in. I spent you go back and look at the fan cams when we was on tour. I was saying, we need a striker, get Ivan Toney, go for Jokerit. I couldn't believe. And we were speaking to people over there, and the narrative was very much, but Havertz finished the season well. Imagine what he could do over a season. And we were like,
I wasn't on that.
You've got to get a front man in. And I think January was just a continuation of the summer. Because let's be honest, Mourinho has not upgraded this team. He might be a decent player, but it hasn't happened. Calafiori's had 4 injuries in 6 months. And he's actually a centre-back.
And what smacks it, Miles Lewis, brother, you could have used that money
and bought a striker.
Lewis. I know. Listen, that might be a revisionist. I'll be honest, but it might not be, because he was on tour, and I'm sorry, they were doing well. Both him and Ethan were doing well. Like, yes, you might say he's young, protect the player at that time, but it's a few months into the season, and he's shining. And if I'm honest, not say Calafiori hasn't scored. He scored a massive goal against City that actually ended up winning this game of Wolves as well. So it has added, but if you didn't sign Calafiori and bought a striker, they could have scored those important goals as well. Let's be real and got over the line in some of the games that we dropped points in. So that's frustrated me a little bit, because Calafiori, and listen, he's not to say he's not a good player, because I like Calafiori, I like Mikel Merino. I think they are good players. I know I've seen your streams, and
I'm not convinced by Merino, man. I can't lie, people. You know. I seen running. Robbie was running quicker up them Philadelphia steps than Marino's running, bro. I'm telling you.
I see Cousins and the way he turns and stuff, but listen, I think there's a player there. I'm just frustrated because, and this is not me being a revisionist asking for a striker, because we've been on shows for seasons. We've been on tour 2-3 seasons back to back, and the conversation is we need a striker. And us being strikers as well, it's always going to be the first thing I'm going to ask for if I'm being real. And I had my doubts about Havertz because I believe I can pick or spot a good striker when they're in the club. Let me carry on with these super chats quickly. Blackheart 012 says, we lost the league in the summer window, boys. This is literally what Curtis was just saying. The discussion about this window is nil and void. Failed to improve the squad and thought we'd get lucky again. I mean, he's pretty much back on exactly what you was just saying. And he said that before. You literally went on that rant about, this. We're catching up from the summer. OG, good name, says, tell Robbie he owes me $100. He needs to pay up. And that he actually made a bet. He made a bet on stream. Robbie made a bet saying we're definitely going to sign someone. He said he got told by someone that was going to be the case, quite a reliable source, but it never happened. So he owes the guy $100. Don't worry, Robbie's going to be here. Like I said, he's supervising us. He's not letting us just have our free will and go a bit mad on the channel.
Go wild, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie, we've got a problem, mate. You've only got DR Sports now, mate. We went a bit crazy.
We've been demonetized. We went a bit mad. I'm sorry, Rob. The channel's over. Surveying might be still available for you.
Yeah, you've had a good run, but it's DR Sports, mate. That's it.
Forget the Newcastle trip, mate. Don't worry about it.
You don't need to go to Newcastle, Rob. Just do a live stream on DR,
Yeah. Oh my days.
You man traveling up tomorrow as well, yeah?
This is the thing, yeah. Let me just say this quick. This is the thing. Again, before the window closed, and I was adamant as well that I thought we'd sign someone. Robbie goes, oh, guess what? We've got a nice big car for the trip. I said, what? I said, yeah, nice. So we got a nice traveling up. This is before the window closed. So, and obviously we've just beaten City. Like I'm getting in.
Everything's good.
I'm going like, raw, we're going to slap Newcastle. Then Robbie goes, Ty's coming as well. I said, what Ty? I said, that's a good, we'll have a bit of banter in the car, me, Ty Lee. I said, this is going to be a good trip. This is how much, it's so mad, isn't it? How, like, I don't want to say emotional, but how things can just change. And it's only a transfer window. And listen, it might not be all over. I think, if I'm being honest, I don't see us winning anything because of a window. We haven't done anything. And that might seem a bit strong. But it's a lot to ask. I mean, they go to Dubai and come back and hopefully be flying, but it's a lot to ask. But my mood completely changed when that window closed. I could not believe it. I saw the late link to Morata as well, which we'll talk about in a second, but not too busy. Sent a super chat saying, Watkins this season, 10 goals in 24 matches. Havertz, 9 in 21 matches. Now, but Watkins, I don't want to. Oh, this is tough, isn't it? No,
do you know how you got to dress out though? Just first of all, bro, is Watkins has been sharing that front line with Duran. So most games he's been getting taken off. Do you know what I mean? So he's not. Let's be honest. Havertz completes a lot of 90 minutes at Arsenal, and we've created a lot of chances for him as well. So listen, I said straight away when we went for Watkins, I don't think it's a huge upgrade.
No, on stats wise as well.
It's not massive.
I don't do the number thing. Yeah, I don't do the number thing, but it wasn't massively. I know the numbers are very close, but I've seen Watkins pin a man. I've seen him run next to Saliba and slot it in the bottom. I've seen natural striking abilities that I don't see in Havertz. No offense to Havertz. Again, I'm not here to berate him. He's done all right for Arsenal so far, but I'm just saying I've seen what I've worked with him. I know what he possesses. I'm not saying, again, there's not a massive gulf. I'm not going to say he's worlds above Havertz, but I'm telling you, he's one, in my opinion, a better option, and two, we could have utilized him, especially when we need that position is starved. Jesus is injured. Saka's injured. Ethan Nwaneri was injured. Let's not forget he's another attacker. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, but not too busy. Thank you for that super chat. Let me come. 40 side here says, I don't doubt Calafiori as a player, just concerned about the injuries. I think none of our summer signings started in our biggest games makes it hard to get the club to spend more. I mean, that could be an argument that the Cronkies come with, but I mean, still, that they've had an impact on games, the signings in some capacity. Well, Calafiori definitely. So I hear you, but I don't want to use that too much as an excuse. Let me flick back here. Let's do striker talk, because I know Robbie's going to be joining at some point. Let's do striker talk quickly. Obviously, let's start with, we're going to come back. We're going to go forward to come back. How do you stop Isak? Because I watch him and think, boy, the way he receives the ball, pushes it forward, straight direct to goal. There's no taking it on his not safe side and getting it tangled in between his feet. He's always pushing it in the right direction. He's putting it between players. His finishing ability it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. And I look at it and think, okay, how do we stop him? People could say Saliba and Gabriel, so let's not forget. But I'm like, he's done a number on them a few times. So for you, Curtis, what do you see in Isak, like, in a way that, how do you think we can stop him? Is it just we have to be physical with him and do what we do with Haaland? Because I think Isak's such an intelligent striker. He drops into pockets madly. So I'm going to ask that question. It's a tough question. I don't know, but how do you think you stop a striker like that?
It is tough because, like you said, if he moves away from the centre backs and then drops into them pockets, it's tough. But I think, looking at how he's played against us in the last 2 games, he got that sort of tap in at the Emirates in the rebound, and he got the header at St. James's. I do think we need to be a bit more aggressive with him. I know that he does move, but I feel like Gabriel's got to make it a more physical environment for him. The last 2 games when Isak's played against us, it's like he's just strolling off the pitch. Like, yeah, that was light work, man. Like, they took him off after like 60 minutes, I think, in the home.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to get Gabriel close to him and try and rough him up a little bit and make it a more difficult game for him. That when you get the ball, you're not just going to get that time and space, which is hard because if he moves around, your centre back's not going to follow him. So sometimes you need your defensive midfielder to get him. But I would try and make it a more physical game for him. Stop letting him just free roam and shoot. Because you see, look, Fulham beat them, Bournemouth beat them. They were both defensively solid. They denied them space. Mm-hmm. I think if you can stop Isak, I think you can stop Newcastle. I know they've got other good players. I'm not writing off Gordon and Bruno and Tonali. These men are ballers, but Isak is the pinnacle of that attack. I feel like if you can cut him off, Timber can maybe deal with Gordon. And midfield, I saw Joe Linton's meant to be out, who's an animal for them.
Joe Linton's going to be out. It's funny, isn't it? Because like, he's a Brazilian that's not a Brazilian, bro. The way same like Martinelli. Again, Martinelli's on my wall. Big fan of him. But these men don't play like Brazilians. These men...
the Kroenkes are on your wall, aren't they? Yeah, what? Watch him. Kroenkes are on his wall. You know what I mean? I thought I was shameless.
Turkish come to my house and said, I'm going to piss on that next time I come. Bro, loud my house, bro.
He's got the Kroenkes on his wall.
Nah, man, I met them when things were good. Things were good at the time, man.
2004.
They were put, no. 2000, no. When we got the £100 million signing Rice, things were back challenging. Times were good. Now they're on the side. They're not on the wall at the moment. They're on the side.
Took it off the wall at least, yeah.
100%. Robbie is going to come in 2 seconds. But before we do that, I want to read some super chats in a second. But before we do that, 2 questions. I'm ask Robbie this when he comes in as well. Right. If we lost to Man City, would Arsenal have signed someone? Do you think?
I feel like we would have, yeah. Like, really? Maybe not a big signing. We're a very reactive club, bro. We've been doing this. 2 to United, we bought 5 players. Arteta was one of those players. I just think as a club, if we'd have lost at home to City and Pep, I just think you would have seen a little loan player turn up. I'm not saying we'd have gone and like Ollie Watkins, but I think we are quite reactionary as a club.
I think that would be more damaging for the club.
If
we lost and they made some loan signing of, I don't know, some next brother from abroad or whatever. I don't know how that would have resonated with the fans. One loan signing after you had Sterling, who's come in and not really hit the ground running. I mean, we'll speak about him another day. I'm sure we're going to be doing lives for the foreseeable Curtis. So we'll have some conversations around him at some point. But I don't know. I think that would have been a bit damaging for the club if they signed him. And then one more question before Robbie comes in. I'm asking you both this: if we beat Newcastle and get into the final, the fans forget the window. Do you forget the window? Or let's do you and then let's do fans. Be real. We win emphatically, score a load of goals. We're into a final. A man the week after we come back from Dubai, talking about the January window?
I think it goes to the back of our mind, but I think it's still got to be there, because getting into the final will fix a lot of short-term issues, because we'll be, all right, we're going to Wembley, we're playing either Liverpool or Tottenham, and we'll have had to put in a hell of a performance to beat Newcastle, but it doesn't fix everything, bro, because let's be real. If we win the Carabao Cup, that's great. That's a bonus. It's a cup final. It's Wembley. But our aim, our mindset over the last 2 years has been, can we get our hands on that Premier League? And I don't think we've done enough to win the Premier League. So I don't think so. I think that window will be spoken about until the next window turns up.
Yeah, and funny enough, I'm speaking about the last January window in this window. So you're right. I think it's something that, well, you said back of the mind. I think fans shouldn't be too naive and think like, and I make sure they remember this. Depending if we win a trophy, then I can understand the fans putting it to the back of my mind, forgetting it. But until then, you keep this in mind. Robster, time for you to enter the Don.
Robin,
the press. Robin.
He's got a lot to answer for, man.
Come on, Robin. The channel's not down. We saved the channel. There he is. Oh, wow.
How you doing?
Format. Let me see if I can put. Yeah, you go to the bottom first. You have to earn your right to come above. You have to earn your right.
Hey, you know what, right?
We got CC here.
He's acting like he owns the channel. You know what I mean? Go to the bottom of the screen, man.
You have to earn the top spot.
I hear you lot talking, man. Hey, listen, what? It's almost like the way you lot are talking. It's almost like I'm the person buying the players. You know what I mean? I mean, all I do is a Transfer Daily show where I aggregate all the rumors that are out there. I was as upset as anybody that we didn't sign a striker. Absolutely crazy that we didn't sign a striker yesterday. I mean, I know it's a difficult market. The market this year, we have to be real with this, right? And I always like to put context on things. This is a very difficult market. This January window is even more difficult than previous January windows. And one of the reasons why is that with this new format in the Champions League and the Europa League, that means that teams, when they get to January now, they still got games. So players, I mean, whereas the format would have been finished, say, in December. So teams know where they're at, right? So let's just say, I'm going to use as an example, Sporting, right? Let's just say, for instance, Sporting had got to January under normal circumstances and they're out of the Champions League. They may be thinking to themselves, should we cash in on Gyökeres now if somebody comes in with a big offer? But the problem this time round is that there's Champions League games within January that finish at the end of January. And then a team like Sporting have now got a knockout game that if they win that, they progress even further in the Champions League. So why would you sell your best player? And that's the case with a lot of teams in the Champions League and the Europa League. And that has made it even more difficult to get players in this time around. However, I still think Arsenal should have went out there and got somebody in. To get nobody in, I thought that was criminal. And like you said, Curtis, I heard what you said, and you are right. The problem started from the summer. Because when you do good business, you shouldn't be relying on January. We should have bought a striker in the summer. I said it then, you said it, Curtis, we all said it. It was crazy not to do that. Now that we got injuries to Jesus, we've got injuries to Saka, now we're desperate. But all of the very good strikers, they're really hard to get. Because teams, as I said, like, unless you come in with ridiculous amounts of money, they're not going to let them go.
Rob, if we beat, we're going to play a game in a second. If we lost to City, would Arsenal made a signing? Let me ask you two questions.
I feel they would have. I feel, you know what this, I'll tell you what this reminds me of, Cecil, yeah? Years ago, remember, I know you guys remember that famous video with Chris Hudson.
Yeah.
And the big meltdown that happened that day with not just Chris Hudson, it was like loads of fans. This situation is very similar. What happened was, the reason for that meltdown is that we spent all summer being linked to loads and loads of different players. Benzema, this player, that player, right? And we started the season, we hadn't bought anybody. And then we lost to Aston Villa, it was actually, first game of the season.
Yep.
And the fans are absolutely furious because they're like, why have we not bought anybody? And there was an absolute meltdown. And about the week after, the team, they went and bought everybody. You know, they went and bought in about 4 or 5 players, right? This is very similar. But apart from, they had that big win against City, there's a massive feel-good factor. So I do feel that the powers that be are like, we're struggling to get in who we really want in. But you know what? There's no need to panic because we've just beaten City, 5 different goal scorers. Maybe we can get through this. Maybe we can share the goals around, which is wrong because we still should have brought in a striker or even a forward player. And I think it's a big mistake. This could, you know, I mean, it could really. We are basically now saying it's a gamble. We are gambling now from now to the end of the season that we will be able to. Because we are, I think we're the 2nd highest goal scorers in the league. Yeah. So we are scoring goals, but they're gambling that we're going to be able to share the goals around. But the problem is, if you study the fact that even though we're the 2nd most, biggest goal scorers in the league, how many games have we drawn? Right? Because Arsenal have been very good this season. When you think of the adversity, the amount of injuries, the amount of times we've been down to 10 men, but how many games have we drawn where we've missed chances that if we had a killer, like Liverpool have got in Salah, like City have got in Haaland, like Newcastle have got, in Isak, that one guy would have been the difference between a draw and a win. And that is why we should have brought in a striker.
All right, let me ask you.
Let me just say something. You threw a few things there, and big up, by the way, your weight loss, bro. I can't believe it. You know what I mean? Man's coming on looking like Lauren at right back. You know what I'm saying, Lauren? You know what I mean? Lauren. I said, raw. You're gonna have to get a new wardrobe, fam, in them smaller sizes.
Nice.
I said to me, we need to get a bodyguard, bro, because he's got smaller, bro. When he used to walk around the street, my man then was like, bro, I can't go near Robbie.
No, man might dash you over.
I've got more stamina to deal with it now. You know what I mean?
Now you can run. You can run more now. You know what I mean? Man's saying Tyrese, you know what I mean? Singing in the But no, let me just give a little thing for me. You said there about the January window, but I'm looking at it, bro. I'm going, Villa have signed 5 players. They've signed, and I'm just looking at attacking players. You see Rashford, Marlin, Asensio. You see Santiago Jimenez goes to AC Milan. You see Tel go to Tottenham. You see Osimhen release clause, Gyökeres release clause. I know not all gettable, but I feel like this has actually been a very open January transfer window with PSR. Ollie Watkins being offered for 60 million, they're saying. And I'm sitting here going, brother, Mamouche goes to Man City. I think we've seen a lot of attacking movement. João Felix went to Milan as well.
And we're
a lot of those guys, maybe we would have said, okay, we don't want them, but
that's it, Curtis.
We only needed one though, Rob. We only needed one of them.
We only needed one. What you would have took is Rashford the answer at Arsenal? We need a striker. We don't need a wide. A lot of those players that you've named out are wide players. I'm on about a striker, right? With Nwaneri, with what he's done, that kind of negated a bit the fact that Saka's out. But we need a striker, right? Now, a lot of those players that you just named out, I mean, are they the killers you need?
Rob, did you see our bench? Did you see our bench the other day, bro? We had Nwaneri and Sterling and about 7 left backs.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, Curtis. Curtis, I'm with you. I'm with you. We need a striker. And the one that I would have got, and the one where I do feel Arsenal messed up on, was the Ollie Watkins one. Because to me, I would have got Ollie Watkins. They wanted 60 million. We were only prepared, apparently, to pay 40 million. And what happened, if you actually study that Ollie Watkins deal, what happened was they've obviously been given encouragement from Ollie Watkins and his people to come and get this deal done. Watkins, I remember I did a show on Sky with David Ornstein, and David Ornstein said to me, he goes, Robbie, there's a problem at Villa because Ollie Watkins wants to start, John Duran wants to start, right? And I was even saying to him, why don't we go for Duran?
Well.
I'm like, why don't we go for Duran? But both of those two, right? Ollie Watkins, big Arsenal fan, wants to come to Arsenal. He's obviously put it out there. Listen, if you guys put in the thing, I'll come, right? But Arsenal, they're looking at his age and they're looking at everything, and they say, listen, in one aspect, I get it, right? 60 million for a 29-year-old is a lot of money, but we're desperate, right? They weren't prepared to pay that. They were saying, let's lower the bill. But in the meantime now, Al Nassr, who were interested in either Victor Boniface or John Duran, they'd had a £50 million bid for Victor Boniface accepted, but they hadn't moved on it yet because they really wanted Duran. When they saw that Watkins could possibly go to Arsenal, which then that would kill the John Duran thing, they moved immediately for John Duran. Once John Duran went to Al Nassr, or that big got accepted, because Villa are only going to want to let one of those go. That was the end of the Ollie Watkins thing, because now Villa are in a position where they're like, well, we can't let both of them go. We're going to let John Duran go and we keep Ollie Watkins. And on the Villa thing, on Villa spending money, you got to put it out into context as well.
They got rid of him.
They've sold John Duran for 65 million. They sold that Philogene guy. They've made about 95 million this transfer window. So, and they've got PSR problems. Notice they didn't go out and buy a lot of players. They bought in Rashford on loan. They're paying crazy money, loan fee, paying like 70% of his wages, which no other team in Europe was prepared to do.
Yeah, massive.
And and they bought in Asensio, which I thought, I was looking and thinking maybe an Asensio just as a body we could have done, right? But they've not really spent no money, and they got a load of money in.
And the Sassy on loan as well. Yeah,
they got this. So, my thing is just this, Rob. Like, we're sitting here watching teams buy players. Like City bought Mamouche 60-odd million when they've got Haaland just to add to it.
We could have got Mamouche.
We're in a title challenge with no out-and-out striker at the football club, because Havertz, he's not an out-and-out striker.
No, he's not. He's not.
And we've sat there and shown our hand, because obviously we had money if we're offering for Watkins. It's not like they're saying we got no money.
We got money.
Yeah, well, they went low though. They went low. They didn't push to the 60.
Yeah. But all this 29 thing as well. Oh, he's 29. I think to myself, bro, when you're one of the
29, remember, he just turned 29.
Just turned 29. Bro, right, what age? I know it's different times, but he came to Arsenal late 20s. If Watkins comes to Arsenal,
Aubameyang came at 28, bro.
Aubameyang 20. If Watkins comes to Arsenal and we win a title, or we win, you're not going to sit there and go, well, in 3 years we can't sell him for 40 million. We should have got Watkins.
That's my opinion. I know there's a lot of people who are moaning about it at the time when I was doing like a transfer daily, and you look in the comments, people are like, we don't want Watkins, too old. I mean, we should be doing better, stuff like that. But we're desperate. People got to understand that we were in a desperate situation because we don't really have a striker, and we're relying on play. You saw Havertz. I rate Havertz. He's a good player. He does a great job for the team, works hard, he scores goals, but he's not a killer. If a killer wouldn't have passed that ball to Odegaard, right? No. A killer
and missed that next one.
The second chance he had, a killer would have scored it. Then he goes and scores the third one, which was a brilliant finish, by the way. But that's because he's a good player, but he's not a natural finisher. Those chances had fallen to Haaland. You know what I mean?
So to be fair, Haaland does miss big chances, but you're right.
But he doesn't miss every striker misses big chances, but he doesn't miss many of them. Yeah. His percentage of missing those big chances is way lower than someone like Havertz. And if you're going to win a league, it's the games we're drawn. Liverpool have lost one game, we've lost two. We've drawn too many games. And that is bridging that margin. And I think with Ollie Watkins, the other thing that would have been good about him, he's Premier League ready. He hasn't got to come in and get used to the league. He knows the league inside out. He played every team in the Premier League he's played against. You guys played football, so you know what it's like. When you've actually been in a league, you're familiar with every ground. You're familiar with every player. So you might come up against a team, you go, yeah, I know that defender. If I show him on the right, he's weak there. Trouble, When you bring in a new guy, you don't know that yet. It's going to take him a season to learn that. That's why Watkins would have been a good signing. You got Watkins or Havertz. We've got lots of games. People are not thinking about going forward, When you get to the business end of the season, and you've got a Champions League game, and then you've got a big league game, you've got to win both. We need a bigger squad. We've gambled. They've made a big mistake. It's really disappointing for me. I mean, as a person doing transfer daily every day, to see players, I know it's difficult. I've given you the difficulties because I like to put context on it. But we've effed up, man. We should have.
They had someone there. They had opportunity. So it's also negligence from the people that are in control of the transfers as well. I honestly think it's ridiculous. At the time, they knew what.
Who's even getting these? Who's even getting these people? Edu's gone. Who's doing the business?
Who's Nate, brother? Who's Nate?
Who's Ato? Who's that?
Who? I heard, we saw in the Athletic. They said Tim Lewis bloody stopped the Ollie Watkins deal. Basically,
but are these guys experts in what they're doing?
No,
because it's not just like you. I heard you say it, Curtis, and you're right. It ain't just about balancing the books at this stage. It's ambition. What do you want? Do you want to? Is it just about let's just keep our powder dry? Hopefully, things will fall into place and we can possibly win this or win that. Or is it, nah, man, we want to win this, so let's go at it.
I've been waiting for this Robbie for about 2 years, you know. Let me ask you two a question. Yeah, because we got to start doing calling out certain things. We got to start going at each other. Owners, bro.
By the way, we've got a load of super chat. We've got to do some of these super chats. We've got a load of these.
Are you, man, especially you, Rob, I'm looking, there's got to be question marks about these owners now. Surely.
Of course.
Major questions,
because now I said before the window closed, I think I did a show on the Sunday and I said, tomorrow is going to show me a lot about the ambition of the ownership. Because I've heard Arteta all month saying we're short.
But he said about profile, though. In his press conference, he said, listen, don't wait, hold on. Let me just put this up firstly. Mikel Arteta on the transfer window. We had clear intention, which is always there is a window open to explore opportunities to improve our squad with players that can impact it. We haven't achieved it, so we are disappointed in that sense. But as well as we are very aware that we only want to bring in certain kinds of players, and we have to be very disciplined with that as well. And I think that's where we were. So,
listen,
is that him?
What's he going to come out and say? Boy, the owners haven't given me what I wanted.
Well,
right? And then the next, what it will be is that when he goes to get on that flight to Dubai, they just say, "Yo, there's no seat for you because you've gone." Right? Listen, listen. Mikel Arteta has been saying all month, especially over the last few weeks, especially after Jesus got injured, we're short. We're short. Every press conference, we need someone. We're short. We're short. They went for Ollie Watkins. That was definitely wouldn't have been a player that they would have been going at the start of the window. But because of the injury to Jesus, he knows he needs a striker in. Yeah. So I feel he's been failed in a way because it's come down to money, isn't it? And it ain't his money. It's not his money.
But Tim Lewis was saying about the age of Ollie Watkins and that. There was other people getting involved in getting that over the line because that's what I'm trying to look at all angles here. Tim Lewis was saying,
listen, if you're a sporting director's got to weigh up a lot of things.
We ain't got one right now. He's on guard.
That's what I'm saying. Who are these people? Who's buying?
Rob, don't you feel like though? Yeah, even I don't know if you see all the quotes from the press conference, like. He didn't need to call the ownership out, but he didn't need to glaze them as much, man. Like he was acting like, they did everything they could. I would have liked him to have said, "Listen, man,
they all do it."
Disappointed, bro. Like
he said, he said he's disappointed. If you look at the quote there, he said he's disappointed. But listen, I've never. There's only one manager I ever saw come out and call out the owners for certain things, right? Right, and that was Mourinho.
That's who Curtis wants.
That was Mourinho, right?
I wanted him. Don't try and do that, Look him. Right. Troublemaker.
Curtis, remember when Mourinho called out Abramovich?
Oh, yeah, Chelsea.
Yeah. And what happened to him? Soon after that, through the door. It's not your club. People forget.
He let off the clip, bro. He let the whole clip off.
Yeah. You can't. And remember, the other manager that I've seen do that in recent times was Conte.
Yeah.
What happened to him? He ain't there no more. So you got a choice. Right, you gotta run up your mouth. It ain't your money. It ain't your club. Right, that's what people forget. Manager. He's been saying all month he needs a player. So this thing has come down to money. If they'd have put the money, the 60 million down at that time, I think they would have got Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins is not my first choice, not your first choice. Maybe Cecil. I know he's your brethren, but it's not our first choice. But we're desperate.
I would have taken Ollie.
We're desperate. So we should have signed somebody.
Let me do super chats, Rob. Let me do this because
Yeah.
they're building up. Let's do this one. This guy with super chat says, "Cronk out this blood clot." The thing is, owners, all the Jamaican people, all us are Jamaican on the stream. No one likes their owners at the moment, though. Give me a club where everyone's happy with their owners. So I'm just like,
probably Man City.
Yeah, but I said that yesterday to Robbie. I said Man City, but then really, with the 115,
They'll get away with that, man.
Could go left, but no one. Okay, you can say City because I said that yesterday on the stream. I said City, but apart from them, no one's really happy with their owners. They really aren't. And Chelsea got the money; they spend it galore. But then look, they're not where where Arsenal are currently. Nick, big up the AFTV boys. You all speak so much sense. But Kvacha Skelia says raises our levels. He is world class, but we want an unproven Williams. Is he talking about
Baller, man? I would have loved.
Is he talking about Nico Williams? I would have.
Yeah. No, Skelia was
Skelia.
Well, both. I would have taken any of them. Would have been. I'd take both of them. Prefer Raj. Sorry if I can't pronounce that wrong. Mikel, thank you, my brother. Mikel wants to win without a world-class 9. Show his masterclass that he can get goals from many positions. Buy an average player and level up under him, which isn't working. So I didn't get any 9 that can challenge Havertz. He did. They mentioned that in the press conference, didn't they? They said,
hold on, Cecil, I don't know if you've seen. Sorry, there's these super chats as well. Let me just see. Did you do this one?
I'm going all the way up.
Side?
I've got them all. Yeah, we've done that one already. Don't worry. Okay. Yo, just corner. Let the man. No, I'll fly through these. Don't worry. I see them all. Guna Cannon 29 says we will win 1-3 tomorrow, all the way up north. Quickly, Rob. If we beat Newcastle and go through to the final, the fans forget about the January window. You'll be interviewing them after.
They'll forget about it. They'll forget about it until the game against Leicester. And then listen, if the problem we've got now is that if we lose or draw a game, first thing people are going to say, why didn't we buy a striker? If Havertz misses a chance, why didn't we buy a striker? If Martinelli misses one, why didn't we buy a striker? If a player gets injured, why didn't we buy a striker? It's a gamble. No, it ain't going away, man. People are going to remember this. Yeah, you can have a feel-good factor. And this is why I don't understand as well, right? The brilliant win against Man City, follow it up with something. But you know what? In a way, why did we even wait till deadline day anyway? Yeah. Should have got someone in right at the start of the window. Randall Colomawani.
Go on, yeah. Well said.
Randall Colomawani was being hawked around to clubs. We didn't get him. He's gone to Juventus. He's already scored 3 goals in 2 games. That's us alone. We could have got him. Things like that irritate me, man.
Okay, Balboa 84 says, sorry, difference in stats for Kai versus Ollie. You talked about, what the hell? Okay, you talked about isn't worth 60 million. There's an argument for saving money for super well-rounded team in summer. I can't.
Listen, that's obviously what they've done. They've obviously looking at it. They're saying
there's things to win.
Their number one target. They'd love to get Isak. If they can't get Isak, they're going to try and get somebody like a Sesko. Yeah. But what about now? Because the season's we're halfway through the season. There's still stuff to win.
The thing what's Sesko even done as well? Where all this hype, 14 goals in Germany.
Yeah, I'm not on that train as much.
I mean, get someone proven, man. We're not in the phase now.
You could argue though. You could argue this, yeah, right? When everyone keeps saying this about Sesko, how many goals had Isak scored at Real Sociedad before he came?
Yeah, that's a good point. But
so I mean, sometimes you can't just look on it like that. Sorry,
I always go
hit and miss though. So sometimes you got to have that ready-made goal scorer who just settles in.
That is why they were going for Watkins, because what they needed. Obviously, they've looked on it and said, what we need right now is a guy's going to come in for the next 4 months, because that's all it is, hit the ground running. And that's why they wanted Watkins.
Yeah, Trossard did that when and it was supposed to get Mudryk, but Trossard's been in the league before, came in, hit the ground running. Didn't need too much time to settle in. Conan Nate says, I promise you he plans to use Ethan as a striker. Ethan has played in striker before, but in the academy.
He said that today. I mean, how many more positions Ethan Wanyeri going to play?
But this is internal solutions. Miles Lewis-Skelly's a midfielder. The Calafiori's a centre back. Timber's a centre back. These man, everyone just doesn't play in their natural position. This is what man. I think he enjoys it, Arteta, a little bit. Let me see what listen. Raya maybe on the left wing. Maybe if we play, you never know. Got a super chat here from Nick. Big up Nick. Big up everyone sending super chats in as well. Leandro says, let's rally the fans and put the frustration of the January window aside, positivity will do us good. We can revisit this in the summer and judge then. I'm half on that. Turkish won't like to hear that, but I'm annoyed about the January window. I will stay.
Turkish was mad last night, man.
No, he was speaking facts, bro.
Turkish was mad last night. He was hardly even speaking.
He's got a breakdown video coming down. Sorry, a breakdown video of the Kroenkes on the timeline. So I'll you check out. What did I just
did a show with Turkish, man. We said, yo, we're just enjoy your year, bro. Don't let him.
The man was mad.
He is mad. Man's hairline, bro. He got a lot of money for that. I mean, this is it's gonna be.
Yeah, you gotta look after that hairline, man.
Boy, well, after last night, man, all of his hair dropped out again.
You have to go back for the second graph, man. Say, yo, double up on that, you know.
Hey, do you know what I sometimes do? Do you know what I sometimes do at work with Turkish? I walk past and go, waka waka.
Don't sing that song.
Waka waka. AMSN says, someone remind Robbie it's difficult window for all. Not getting anyone on loan at bare minimum is disgraceful. Sorry.
No, but listen, it is a difficult window for all, and that's why when you look at, tell me the brilliant deals that anybody did in this window. Listen, we should have got a striker. I'm with everybody, but tell me who did something brilliant in this window. Marmoush, maybe.
City was good.
I think Kvaratskhelia was brilliant. 57 million.
I'm on about the Premier League. Tell me who's done a wicked deal in the Premier League.
Yeah, probably Marmoush is the best one.
No, yeah,
Marmoush.
They needed
West Ham got Evan Ferguson.
They needed that.
Desperate though, man.
West Ham got Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson barely played a game, right, in the last couple of seasons through injuries and stuff like that. Cecil, you know my link at Brighton. He told us not selling him. We're not loaning him to Arsenal. And this is what
we don't want him really anyway.
We're not going to loan him to Arsenal because he won't play enough time. We want him playing a lot. So that's why we're going to send him to West Ham. But tell me someone who done a wicked deal. Maybe the Marmoush. That's it.
What about we don't know. Brighton, no. Listen, not great. I got him here. Diego Gomez. He was from Inter Miami. Maybe he could be dead midfielder. But
Inter Miami.
But Brighton. I know. No, Cecil, I know what you're going to say.
Arsenal get a player from Inter Miami.
Fans are going to go mad.
What do you think the fans are going to say?
Brighton scouting, though.
Unless it's Messi, bro. You know what I mean?
Brighton scouting is phenomenal, though. I'm just saying.
No, but you see, that's the thing. That's the thing, right? We will all say Brighton's scouting is phenomenal. Like a minute ago when we spoke about Sesko, first thing you both said was, yeah, but Sesko, I've looked at his record. Yeah, that's the difference. That's it. You see what I'm saying? So,
Rob, you know what it is for me. You know what it is for me. I was looking at the window. I was looking at the window, going, you got Osimhen and Gyökeres release clause.
Yeah,
and we obviously had an opportunity with Ollie Watkins. That for me is 3 opportunities. If you put the money down, you're getting them into your club.
But suppose Gyökeres don't want to come, right? Because I don't think Gyökeres was ever going anywhere this January because that guy's the hottest striker when you look at his record in Europe. Not one team went in for him. Not one. And Osimhen, we all know he's a hot striker. The only team that went in for Osimhen was Galatasaray, where he's playing now. They went to Napoli and they said, we'll give you 55 million to cut the loan short and we'll just buy him. And they said no.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that tells you a lot that these teams are not willing to let, they weren't willing to let Osimhen go. But on the Gyökeres thing, I remember when we was over in Portugal.
No,
those fans were very, very confident. They go, he ain't going nowhere. Remember, Sporting, they're still in the Champions League. This is what I'm talking about, this new format. They're still in the Champions League. They've got a playoff game coming up. Very important. So they ain't going to want to let Gyökeres go. And they're top of the league in Portugal. So Gyökeres will probably look at it and thinking, I'll just stay here for the next 4 months. Hopefully win the league with Sporting. Leave the club with great goodwill. And I'm still going to get my massive move in the summer. And that is the problem you have in January to get these players away. We do have to be, listen, I'm as upset as everybody that we didn't get a striker. But we do have to be real when we look at transfers. It's not easy to get a top quality striker in January. You can get him in the summer though, and we should have got that done.
What about a mid-quality striker? I'm not. That has to be top quality. In my
opinion,
you
want a mid?
I don't mind. I don't mind a mid-quality striker. Nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah, for me, Cecil, I wouldn't have wanted us to go and buy a mid striker, but I wouldn't have minded if we loaned a mid striker. So that's what I'm saying. Like someone like a Kola Mawani, who was available at the start of the window. I think Arsenal should have tried to get him on loan.
Okay, let me carry on running through these super chats quickly. Joe's phone says, "But Rob, we're in a safe space. What's this? What's that thing? Don't."
I gave it Joe's phone. Everybody,
I was about to bring this up as well.
Everybody keeps coming with that. Everybody keeps coming with that. I did give it a 7 out of 10. Probably looking back at it, I should have given it a 6 out of 10. I didn't realize that Sterling was going to be as terrible as he was. But I did, Joseph. What I want you to do is go back and see those videos where I said we should have signed a striker, and that is why I'm upset with that window, because that is what we let down. Nobody ever wants to mention that. They would have talked about 7 out of 10. Did I say we need a striker or not?
You did say that.
But you know the only thing I'll pull you up on, and I said I was going to do this. Philadelphia, Fancam, Robin Lyle, Havertz can score 20 league goals. I need answers.
Hey, he could still score 20 league goals. He's got 9.
It's February, bro.
The season ain't done yet.
Bro,
hey, listen.
I don't know what the Philadelphia
listen. He had sunstroke, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, Mr. Shaw,
Go on.
I said he could. Right, I didn't say he will. Right,
the thumbnail was.
Right, he's actually. What's he got? He's got 9 goals, isn't it? 9 goals.
Yeah. So Chris Wood's got 17, bro.
He's got 14.
He could still score 20.
To be fair, you didn't say in 1 season, so maybe you meant 2 seasons.
Could he not? Curtis,
go on.
Curtis, he could still score 20, though, isn't it? If he's got 9.
Maybe in training, bro.
How?
He ain't getting 11 in from February to May.
Jeez.
How? What do you mean how? He could still score. What do you mean how?
Rob, if he does, your favorite liquor on me, man. Whatever you want, bro. You celebrate that, man.
Bro, I mean, Cristal.
Yeah, you can have that.
You heard that, people.
My bank account is your bank account.
We got to that guy, OG. We got to that guy, OG. He said he put $100. Last night he said $50. Now he's saying 100.
He said 100.
Oh, no, OG, big up.
OG.
I don't know. I'm going to have to find out. How am I going to get him his money? I have to find out. I do owe him.
You're going to pay your debts? Go on, Rob. I like that.
Listen, I always pay my debts, bro. I always pay up, right? So, OG, I'm going to pay you up. I need to find out how I'm going to...
how you going to pay?
Because I've got to make sure that I'm sending it to you. So we're going to find out, and I'll get you that money, OG. Because he said we ain't going to sign no one. And I was convinced. Honestly, I was shocked yesterday, man.
No, we all were. Let's go this quickly. Fizzy says donate earnings for transfer daily to charity. I mean, we're gonna go to that in a second.
You've had a rough month, man. I can't lie.
This is today was the only day my first day of having a decent sleep was today.
I can't believe he came on this. When he said, "Oh, we're coming on," I said, "Brother, have some rest, man." But anyway, it's all good. OG says the only factor keeping Arsenal in second position is because we've got a good back line. Good strikers have ego. Arteta can't manage that.
By the way, I came on for therapy.
Yeah, it's needed, man. It's needed. I liked it when you was angry at the start. I like the crucial Robbie coming out.
He was being honest. He was being honest. And big up. Let me read this last one. I'm going to play one little game before we go. Jimmy Gibby says, end of the day, everyone now in the team has to show up like they did against City. To beat City without Saka was huge. Let's see what they can do in the transfer window in the summer. Trust the process. Oh.
Hey, you know what, right? I think we could win tomorrow, you know.
Rob,
I don't think it's all over yet.
Man. After that window, you actually believe in.
Sorry? Listen, people like to cuss me, right? I said after the loss, right? I said, a month is a long time in football. Everyone's, Robbie, shut up, man.
You work for the club.
You work for the club, man.
Payroll, mate. You're on the payroll.
I said, listen. I said, I've been going football for a long time. It's a month's a long time. I go, we play them next week. It's over. They'll batter us.
Do you mean win or go through? There's a difference.
Yeah. That's
good. Go through. Because, you know, if we win 2-0, it could go extra time, penalties. You never know, innit, in these games. But they've lost their last 2 home games. I was chatting to Matty last night. He sounded really nervous. Even he.
Nah, he's quite composed.
Guys also come there and score first. No Joe Linton. Last game we played, remember, it was Partey at right back. It won't be this game. You never know, man. It's tough. Really, really tough. But let's see, man. I remember after that game, I was the only one saying, when I said to them there, I'm arranging to go out there, sorting out the transport. All of you lot said you ain't going. All you, sister, where I go? You said you ain't coming, innit?
Oh, yeah, I said, I'll be honest. I said, Rob, really?
Now you're there. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
No, I was. After
See?
I was. No,
wise head, bro.
That's because Thierry followed us on Insta, and then
Thierry,
a nice man.
Now, big up Thierry Henry, man. Listen, I've got a brilliant story on Thierry. I heard you guys telling your story about Thierry Henry. My one's brilliant. Like,
go on.
When I first met him,
Run it, man.
First met Thierry Henry. I was at a function, and they said, "Robbie, do you want to do an interview with Thierry Henry?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. I'd like to do. Of course, I'd like to do a function with Thierry Henry. We'll do an interview with Thierry Henry." And when I went up into the room to meet him for the very first time, he knew who I was. He's like, "Oh, Robbie, man, love AFTV." I nearly fell over. Yeah, that's mad. So, and I beat him in a crossbar challenge, as you all know. I've said it.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, by the way.
That's quality, man.
He's a really nice guy. Really nice guy.
Okay, but listen, we before we close for the super chats, let me just play one little game. So the AFTV team have put all of the transfer links that Robbie spoke about on Transfer Daily from January 1st.
Yeah, he's muted himself. You're on mute, bro.
Here we go. There you
go. You're back.
All right, Robbie, you're going to say stop on someone who you really believed was going to come to Arsenal, yeah? So I'm going to run through all the names you mentioned, and you say stop and say, all right, you ready?
Okay.
So we had Moises Keane at the start, Kolo Muani.
Yep, stop.
Okay, so you.
I thought when Kolo Muani was going, I thought we'd go for him. He was a straight loan. He's a guy that had a point to prove. He had a big money move from Eintracht Frankfurt to PSG, and he just hadn't hit it off. And I thought to myself, yeah, he'd be a good signing. Because when he was at Eintracht Frankfurt, he was doing like what Mamouche was doing at Eintracht Frankfurt. He's scoring loads of goals. And I couldn't believe that Arsenal just didn't even show any interest in him whatsoever. And he's gone to Juventus and he scored 3 goals in the last 2 games. He's keeping Vlahovic out of the team.
Okay, so that's one. Take Fusu Kubo.
Nope.
Mohamed Kudus, Hugo Larson, Douglas Luiz. I'd loved him. Omar Mamouche. Right, was actually linked to him as well. Brian Mbeumo, Enzo Millet. Tyreek Mitchell was linked. I must have missed that.
Yeah,
I like Tyreek Mitchell. Christopher Nkunku, Napan. No, Napan.
Yes, that's another one that I thought maybe they would have signed this window. I think they might get him in the summer.
Yeah, Omo, Danny Omo, Victor Osimhen, Igor Paxo. How did I say that? Pellegrini, Marcus Rashford. Matteo Retegui, who's someone I thought
that was a possibility.
I don't know, dodgy person.
Remember this guy, right? So we had a drop on him, Curtis. Yeah, we had a drop on Pettigrew. Someone very naively went and as soon as he heard it, went and posted it on Twitter with the eye emojis. And I had to say to him, "Yo, bro, take that down, right? Because I know what happens if it don't work out." And he took it down. I saved your ass. You're talking. You're there reading out rumors. I saved you. We were heavily linked with him as well.
Oh, Matteo Retegui, Anton Semenyo as well. Benjamin Sesko. Was that one
that was a possibility, but it would have took a lot of money.
Matthias Tell, who did a welcome video. Curtis, I don't know if you've seen this. He's in the plane, yeah. No, he did. Obviously, he's gone to Tottenham, and they've asked him, "Did Harry Kane give you any advice or have any input in this?" And he goes, "Well, Harry told me that this club is a big club, and there's a lot of." And he paused, and he was going to say trophies, and went, "Trophies." And he goes, "Good people."
Tell you what, the Man United fans have been losing it about that Matthias Tell because they thought he was going to United and he's chosen Tottenham over United. I mean, it's bleak times at United, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah,
very.
massively bleak. Okay, let me carry on. I'm almost at the end. Marcus Thuram, Yula Gayed, I don't know, Dusan Balovic, Wahi, Ollie Watkins, who I know you thought, you said that we thought was going to get him. Nico Williams, was there any really, did you get any, or was it just,
just rumours? I didn't think, I said at the time, Nico Williams not going anywhere till the summer. He will move in the summer. Be interesting to see, but he weren't going nowhere now. So Atletico, like we just said about these competitions, Atletico Bilbao still in the Europa League. He weren't leaving.
Yeah, okay. Wissa, Johan Wissa and Martin Zubimendi. Obviously, we hear that he's going to be coming in the summer. Quickly run through these. Arjo, Orojo, probably actually. Marco Asensio, Johan Bakayoko was linked to. I still want him anyway. Bradley Bacola, Joe Bellingham. You did a Terrence O'Daly on Joe Bellingham, bloody hell. Mika Birif, who's actually an Arsenal player, so that's mad. Victor Boniface, Kingsley Coman, Matthias Cunha. Bro, you got loads. Mikel Damsgaard, Jonathan David, Diamendi, John Duran, Evan Ferguson, Joan Garcia, Santiago Jimenez, who I work with quite a bit with Mexico, João Gomez, Arda Güler. Rob, Victor Gokres, Teo Hernandez, Yarmey Hernandez, Alexander Isak, Igor Jesus, and Lee Kang-in.
Actually, that Igor Jesus was one that I was thinking that might have been a possibility as well, because that was sort of like a guy that Edu was trying to bring in last summer. So I thought maybe, but then I looked at his profile. I'm like, he's an up-and-coming kid. So that's not what Arsenal need right now. I think that, as I said, you can even look at some of those links there. It would have been difficult to get half of those like the majority of those players away from their clubs this transfer window.
Definitely right. Let me reel off.
I think the thing what's frustrating about a lot of them players, they're not at like monster clubs, are they? So you feel like that ambition with the bag, they should be pulling some of them players out of there.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true, Curtis. Right, but I think a lot of them. They're at clubs where those clubs have got a lot to play for. And if a club's still in, for instance, in the Champions League or even the Europa League, they stand to make a lot of money from being in, if they can go far in those competitions. They're not out of them yet. As I said, not under normal circumstances, a lot of them teams would have been out of them competitions already. So those teams are like, well, listen, I'm going to keep hold of this player because we'll make money then. And a lot of them, they'll still go in the summer anyway. We'll still get our money. So why we've got them go now, unless it's something ridiculous that comes in, and some of those players don't warrant. I do feel that Havertz are going to. That's the problem.
Let me read the final.
I know what's Ryan.
Let me read some of the super chats to finish off. PSV says, "Why wait?" Sorry. Ryan's a demon. PSV says, "Why wait till the last few days to bid? There were players available. Stop letting these idiots get away with it. It's simply incompetence." And actually, it's the incompetence that annoys me the most at the moment with what's going on behind the scenes. Rudy Can't Game says, "What do you think of the Luka trade?" Yeah, let me know about that. I don't know what that is.
Basketball.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what, that is crazy.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I'm like, what? And did you see his interview where he's saying that he didn't even know?
No, they just told him he was gone. He bought a house.
You see, that's the thing. That's how they operate in America. Maybe the Cronkies think it's something like that, because the madness that goes on in America. I mean, imagine if you're a Dallas fan, your best player just gone like that. They didn't tell nobody. Nobody knew. He just went. I'm like, imagine if that was here, right? And say a player of his stature, who would he be comparable to over here? That would be like Haaland.
Yeah, he's up.
That'd be like Haaland going to Arsenal without the fans knowing about it.
With LeBron.
Oh, so what? So that Luka guy gone to another big club?
Gone to the Lakers, with LeBron.
That is mental. That isn't it, Curtis? That is like Haaland. Haaland's going to Arsenal without the fans knowing. They just next day fight. I mean, we talk about the Sol Campbell thing. That would have been. That's crazy.
Maybe we should have put Luka up front, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, Luka Doncic would be good from set pieces, bro. I'll tell you that.
Do you know what the worst thing is? I read that super chat and thought it was Luka from Love Island, but anyway, that's.
Oh my god,
guy, man.
Super chat. Abin Ab says, if Arteta gets sacked at the end of the season for not winning nothing, then I will understand Kroenke's not spending now 65 million for Havertz. What's the ROI? Wait, what? I will understand Kroenke's not spending now 65 million for Havertz, question mark. What's the return on investment? I mean, yeah, I don't think the Kroenke is going to be sacking Arteta at the end of the season, as much as I feel like if he doesn't win anything, there could be a strong conversation of why is he here, considering he said, you shouldn't accept second best, and we know where this club should be. We should be winning trophies, and he's. But I think with that 3-year contract on the most money, I don't see them getting rid of him because he has protected them and brought this club to some.
He won't get sacked unless there's an absolute disaster between now and the end of the season. When he'll be able to sit down and point to loads of factors that have cost him, but one of them's also not signing a striker, which is down to who knows who's down to.
Well, he went with Havertz and had to move out of midfield into a striker position. Anyway, Kazar Fran says, hi guys. Marta, this is the person that does DR Sports. Marta Rosenberg wins the under-23s Classic Sprint Championships. What a great performance. A new cross-country skiing star is born. Your thoughts?
Is she a striker? Or he a striker? He a striker. I mean, if strikers is the best. Hey, you know what, right? What was Curtis? You know what the best comment was last night? A guy goes, "Why are you lot crying for? You got Chloe Kelly."
Oh,
Chloe Kelly.
Big signing.
Big signing, yeah. But
big signing for her to come back still. But we need one for the men's. We need a striker for the men's team.
Exactly.
Mark Lowery says, agree with Rob. You can't convince me in summer. Jan Mikel Arteta didn't want any attackers. He called out the owners as much as he could, while maintaining professionalism. They've let him, fans, players down. KSC out.
It was subliminal to me.
I feel like no one has the concrete. I don't know the concrete evidence.
I know you got the picture on your wall in there, but to me,
yeah, man,
he kept calling. If somebody's saying news conference after news conference that we're light, we need forward players. We're without Jesus, we're without Saka, we're light, and we don't buy no one. I have to then think to myself, the owners are saying, well, we're not spending that big money on. I think it's got to come down to who knows. I don't know. But they're the ones with the money, innit?
65 million on Havertz, put him on 275 a week plus Jesus on 250. There's still issues there, in my opinion. But anyway, that's another conversation. Depth of Agriculture says this is classic. KSE happened in 2011 with Marlon and 2016 with Giroud. Always one player away, then our best players leave. We rebuild for 5-7 years. I've got a couple more before we go. Michael Robinson says the club seems to not care about the current players. They are going to get ran into the ground. We should be more concerned about keep the players. I'm concerned about keeping the players that we have so far. Funny, Rob, just quickly ask me this, yeah? And Curtis, I spoke about this. Saka, right? He's guaranteed, really. No one's really pushing him out of his position. Maybe
is he?
Conversation. No, but let's be real. Yeah. People will say Saka, he's going to be poached by someone big. But if I'm in Saka's shoes, if you're in a player's perspective right now, you're thinking, well, I'm not really got. The club love me. I've got everything here. I'm in London, good club. We are competing. I know we're not won anything yet, but really other clubs that are really winning stuff. City have dropped off, but they'll probably come back maybe next season. Real Madrid, yes, but they've had a drop this season. Liverpool are currently there. I'll be real. Saka's not got competition to leave his position. If I was in his shoes, I'd be thinking,
nor is Trent Alexander-Arnold at Liverpool.
Yeah, but he's won.
And where's he going in come this summer?
Yeah, Real Madrid. But he's won stuff.
Bro, let's be honest. If City came in or if Real Madrid came in for Saka in a year or two and we haven't won nothing, there'd be a problem there, man. Ashley Cole was an Arsenal fan.
Exactly.
Yeah. I hear that 2 or 3 years. I hear, but like right now, end of this season, you think Saka's just gonna
maybe not this season? Nah,
yeah.
Listen, right? Darren Bent was an Arsenal fan. He went to Spurs. Listen, these are professional guys, man. If we're not winning nothing, they're gonna start reassessing Wagwan because they want to win things. So it's as simple as that. So Saka, Saliba, all these players, we need to start winning things.
Okay, Michael Robinson says the club's seen. I just read that. Let me just quickly let's read the last one. Last couple here. PSV says Arteta all of a sudden call in for signings. This idiot talks about having the best owners, etc., but went into the season knowing we are short. Okay, and then Rohit says, if Arteta doesn't get backed by the ownership, he might leave. He'd surely have ambitions to win trophies. If not with Arsenal, then someplace else. Oh, it doesn't get back. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think if Arteta doesn't get the backing he wants, he'll move on to a Barcelona. He'll get another big move. I think Arteta's a good coach in my opinion. And if he's not being backed,
you called him generational one time. Remember that one?
Did I do that, or who did that?
Oh yeah, you did, mate. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Remember, I haven't been on here for a while. You know, I said I got a few things to get off my chest.
I said he's a genius. I remember saying he's a genius. Generational.
You tell him.
Find the clip. Find the clip.
Run the clip.
He's quick to reference anything I've said. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, we got to call people out. Yeah, I hear that. I think he's a genius. Generational. I don't know.
Why do you think he's a genius? What's genius about what he's done?
No, I think. Listen, the way in phases of play that we've had when we've been playing scintillating football, scoring a load of goals, I think he found the answer in a team that they're good, but he got the best out of them. I think the things he does, especially in attacking set pieces and making. I know people say Nicolas Jova, but that's something they've addressed, they've seen, they've worked on, and they've used it as another asset. Or added it to their arsenal, excuse the pun. So I just think all things, even the little things he's done. I know people laugh at the North London forever and the little things of bringing the fans back closer together, bring it to the club. These little things, the blacked out Premier League trophy yet to be filled at the training ground, having all the legends around. Like, I know they're small things, but when I speak to the legends that we've had on A-list and stuff, all these things matter. I genuinely believe they build a winning mentality. Yes, we haven't got it over the line yet, but I think these little things do matter. And you hear players talk about it all the time. Declan Rice, he talks about how much of a genius he is. He's so meticulous on every little situation in the game.
Apart from signings, right? And maybe need to be a bit more meticulous on that.
And the silverware, you know, them ones. You know what I mean? 5 years, one FA Cup, bro. That don't sound like a genius to me.
That's not a genius there. He's very good.
Listen, if he leaves Arsenal, he's getting another big. He's a good man. He's a good coach.
I think he's a very good manager, but I do feel like he's got to start getting the silverware in to show that, you know, the silverware is what it's all about. You know what I mean? Simple.
Leandro says Mawani plus Asensio loans would have been ideal, surely. Yeah, I mean, Mawani, Asensio would have been nice. Just anyone for me. Right, that is it.
By the way, there's a few more.
Oh, go on, Rob. Run that. Let me see. Rob.
Thiago says, Robbie, you said that Arsenal don't sign anyone. They absolutely have no chance of winning the Premier League or the Champions League. Do you still stand by that? I do.
Do you?
I feel if we win those, it's only through luck now. We've not given ourselves the best chance to win those because we're already short and we're in second place, right? So what makes you think we're going to win it? We needed something. It ain't that we can't win it. We could still win it, but it's now going to be just being fortunate.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you there.
We've not given ourselves if Arsenal come up against, I don't know, Barcelona in the semi-finals of the Champions League, we're not favourites. Have we given ourselves the best chance to win that?
No.
With this chance to win that? We haven't. Let's be real.
Only the pathway might give us a chance, but we're definitely not in the right position.
It don't mean that we can't still win something. We could, but we're going to have to be fortunate to do that. We're going to have to be fortunate with injuries. Everything's going to have to go our way now.
Of course.
For us to win anything. That's my opinion.
Tom Smith says, Robbie wearing Josh Kroenke's glaze and more. PR.
Huh? What's that? What PR?
What are you wearing?
I've never even met Josh Kroenke. You know what I mean? What's the guy talking about?
AJMBI. Rob went a bit mad there, guys. You see it? He went. What? I didn't even met him.
He was about to pull up on it.
I've never met Josh Kroenke. I've never met Stan Kroenke. I've been at a meeting where, you know, they used to do the AGM things where Stan Kroenke was there and he didn't even say anything. He just said hello. That was to everybody in the room and goodbye at the end. He didn't say anything. So I've never met him. All I'm concerned with is Arsenal winning things. That's all I'm concerned with. I have no link to know Kroenke is. I know, you know, I mean, I do my own thing, right? So I just want to see Arsenal win the Premier League or win the Champions League or win something. I'm an Arsenal fan. So, but then I speak honestly. You know what I mean? If I think that, you know, we couldn't possibly sign someone, I'll say we couldn't possibly sign someone.
And
we could have signed someone. You know
we could have. That's what's frustrating. Animal Gill says Van Gaal won the European Cup in '94 with kids. At this, I'm riding their coattails. Maybe they can do something. That's
maybe
all we got now. The kids to do. Can you do it with?
There's no certainty in anything. We all know that. There's no certainty in anything. But what you want to do is give yourself the best chance. The question is, with this January transfer window and with the injuries to Saka and Jesus, at the end of that window, have we given ourselves the best chance to win the Premier League or the Champions League? Have we? The answer is no. Simple.
Rob, big up. You've been very honest on this live. We've called out each other's stuff.
Crucial Robbie turned up today, man. You know
he did. You know what? At first I was cussing him coming on, but you know he's turned up. And
I don't know. Like, as I said, because I'm doing Transfer Daily, people think I'm buying the players.
No, I hear you. Maybe sometimes the energy that we believe you, though, Rob. Sometimes we just really want to strike. We want someone so bad.
And you know what it is, Rob? You hype us up sometimes. Yeah. Like, you know, in the summer.
I'm hyped up nobody.
No, you know, in the summer, remember when he dropped that Ivan Toney video? I said, yo, Robbie, no sort of man. Tony's signing. Next minute, he was holding up a Saudi shirt. I said, what's going on here?
Listen, right? You're one to talk, right? Because
in America, actually,
right, this guy, he's waking up 6 o'clock in the morning, right? In the hot sun, walking down the road saying, yeah, we've been linked with. Man's got the tier 10s out and the tier 5s.
Hey, this is the same place.
I thought that was private, man. What the hell, bro?
This time we're walking down the road, right? One time we didn't even got licked down by a car or something, right? He's walking down the
Bro, I'm walking through Philly in the ends here with some selfie stick, looking like I've got a shotgun talking about ESPN linking us with Leroy Sané. You know what I mean? Jeez, man, I'm trying to build up my
the full truth on these lives, boy. We could call out. Generational is crazy, but listen, big up, people. Man. Listen, we are going to bring it to a close. Let me just finish off by, Robbie spoke about Thierry Henry and his story. Here's a little vision of, some proof of what he was talking about.
It's a bit rusty. It's the Thierry
Nah, man.
That is legendary, man.
What's going on with Thierry, though? I'm not going to call out the king. He's my favorite player, but brother, them shots they're moving like Julian and Lee at Bournemouth.
Yeah, for real. He was a bit off.
I made Thierry Henry look like Kai Havertz, Bridget. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you.
You better keep that up.
He went there. Hey, Rob, you've been open to he's saying shit as well.
Has Robbie been drinking or something? What's going on here?
I had the techers, man. You know what I mean? Listen, I had the techers. I'll tell you what, right? That was he's a very you can tell why he was a winner because he's such a competitor. Because that was like a sports day thing. So we were doing all these different events. He tried his hardest to beat me in everything after that. He's a winner.
No, well done. Obviously, you won that battle, but you didn't win this one.
I do feel that Havertz are going to have a very big season this year for Arsenal. I do. I think if we
up front or in the midfield?
Up front.
Okay.
Up front. I think I'm going to make a bold statement, Rob. I think Havertz will get 20 goals this season.
Okay. I think they're top goal scorer of the league.
No.
That's bold.
Well, I think he's going to get 20 goals this season because I feel he's got more confidence in him now. You saw him even for Germany. He's more confident. He's confident at Arsenal.
Hey, hold on. Wait a minute.
Oh,
what did I say there?
I said 20 goals. I didn't say in the league.
How many goals has he got this season?
I think 14 in all competitions. I think.
Brother, hey, we're in January. No. Listen, hold on. If he gets 20 goals this season, yeah.
What?
Make sure you get me that drink you said.
No, I said in the league.
He's got 6 more to get. 6. Yeah, you're running that. I'm glad you run that video, right? Because I didn't say anything.
You set me up.
I said he get 20 goals this season. He's got 14. He got 6 more to get. If you don't make people, Crystal, I want, yeah?
Shit.
Crystal. All right, he's got 14. And I'm going to be counting every one.
You said in the league, man.
No, I didn't. Run the video again. Run the video again.
You said in the league.
Run that video again.
Run it back.
Run that video again.
Run it.
No. Run that video again.
Show, man. Turkish is here. Run it.
Wait before we go Turkish. Run that video again.
I do feel that Havertz are going to have a very big season this
Really,
year for Arsenal. I do. I think if we
up front or in the midfield?
Up front.
Okay.
Up front. I think I'm going to make a bold statement, Rob. I think Havertz will get 20 goals this season.
Okay. I think he's top goal scorer of the league.
No.
That's bold.
Well, I think he's going to get 20 goals this season because I feel he's got more confidence in him now.
There's another one. There's more to
it. Interview, man.
Goals, right?
You said to my face.
14. You've got 6 to go, right? When you guys are running your fives,
in the
league,
You said league, bro.
6 to go.
League somewhere in that video, bro.
Right, you set me up.
It's not
to
just
go.
that.
6 to go. You just run it. You run it, not me. 6 goals to go. I want Crystal.
No. Ryan,
me
and Robbie are live Thursday, 7 p.m. Go clip the predictions from the start of the season. That's where he said 20 league goals haven't. Go clip the predictions.
Yeah, Rob.
See how these man are digging now. They're digging.
Yeah, we have to find it, man.
Digging. Right? Hey, Ryan, don't forget to clip, right? Get the clip when my man said, that the answer to Arsenal's goal scoring is Patson Daka. That's the one you for clip.
Go get that clip. Let's see if I said that's the answer. But go get the clip where Robbie said, "Why would we sign Mbappe? We've got Martinelli."
Hey, listen,
I remember that on tour. I remember that.
You've even been to court for that, Robbie. You've even been to court.
Yeah, but everybody knows that was a joke thing when I said that. I was just backing my players.
Bro. What
right?
joke thing?
I was backing my players, right? But you said Patson Daka.
I said Patson Daka's a better backup than Eddie, and 3 years later you're coming to tell them.
No, you know what? Eddie's better than Patson Daka. Although Eddie, bloody hell.
Has Eddie even scored a league goal yet? I don't know if he has.
Daka's got 1 goal.
You know, there's a lot of people, right? They forget things very conveniently. It weren't you, Turkish, but I remember Balogun when everybody would keep Balogun, and all I said at the time was, I go, Balogun, what's he really done? He's a good player. I think he's good, but he's not the answer for Arsenal either. I'd sell him.
What has he done?
Exactly. Nobody talks about him no more. That's just been conveniently shown. Nobody's coming out with those clips and those things. So listen, and we say things at the time.
We're live every day. We're live every day.
As I said, we got 20 goals. He's got 14.
Brother, you got the
14 goals.
Cronkies on your wall about pull each other up, bro. You're lucky I don't come to you.
Yeah.
Look at that. Disgusting. You don't know how disgusting that is.
I saw Turkish. Turkish. I went round to his house. I saw that picture as well. Disgraceful, man.
Disgusting. For a couple of minutes, I don't like him right now.
Are we going extra time, extra half an hour now?
I don't know what we say. I was gonna put it.
We're live with Robbie. Me and Robbie are live 7 p.m. Thursday. So I just wanted to say, well done to Rob, because tonight he's been a different. He's been a different kind of.
What different?
No, yeah, I don't know. I reckon he's been drinking
50-50 tonight. Usually you're.
No. Turkish. I'm not being any different because from the summer I was saying we need a striker.
Yeah.
I put ratings on the window. Yes, I did put that ratings of 7. I honestly thought Sterling would have been. He's been really poor. I thought he'd be better than what he's been. He shocked me of how bad he's been. So I got that wrong. But I did say at that time we needed a striker. I couldn't understand how we didn't get a striker in the summer. I really can't understand how we haven't done it now. We're desperate, man. We are in desperate mode, in my opinion. Because we're so light. What if Havertz gets injured, if Trossard, if Martinelli, any of those get injured, who's going to play up front? I don't understand it. Even when you just look on it from a sheer numbers point of view, it was baffling to me yesterday how we did no business at all.
Listen, it's all been said in this live, and Turkish, you've been live as well. Turkish, thank you for WWE guest appearing, just coming out of nowhere. Big up Curtis. This was supposed to be coming on the CC show, but it was nice to have jump in.
By the way, Turkish, these man were dissing you at the start of the thing as well.
I swear that.
Wait, what's in the comments, man? Don't even try that, bro.
Yeah, I can see it.
And that was dissing in the comments. Right, talking about hair and all them things. Right, don't let these man right. So,
safe space. It's a safe space.
Don't listen to the bold guy. You know what I mean? He's just hating because your hair's growing back. You know what I mean?
He's jealous. He's jealous.
I got the email, people. I got the / Turkish LDN. Use that.
Yeah, 20% off.
No, it's looking good.
It's good. Listen, big up everyone. Thank you so much for joining us live. Like Robbie's mentioned, like Turkish mentioned, we're live every day. You can see it on the corner, bottom corner of your screen there. We're live every day at 7 p.m. It's a safe space on these lives. Call each other out for some things we've said, but also talk about the topics of the day around Arsenal. Obviously, we're coming off the back of not signing in the window, but a big journey for myself and Robbie up to Newcastle tomorrow. Come on, you boys. Let's hope the Gunners can somehow make a miraculous win and go through to the final.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you lot better get a table at Tup sorted out, man. Either way, if it goes good or bad, you're gonna need to get through that summer. You know what I mean?
Oh, that drive back. But listen, again, big up the community, big up everyone as well, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Peace.